channel. We are here with the GreenLight extraordinaire CEO, Vincent Tang, and we got a lot of awesome stuff we are going to talk about today.
Yeah.
Let me take a look. We may be having issues here.
Wait, what's going on?
1 second, just making sure we're good.
Yep.
All right, we are good. We are live. Everything is good to go. Guys, we are here with Vincent. Vincent, thank you so much. I know it was a little quick turnaround. We just talked about this Sunday. We are here on Wednesday. We have a lot we want to go into, and I know you'll be showing a ton of stuff in Vegas, which if you're going to the Vegas Diecast SuperCon, you definitely want to be there. I will be there. Vincent will be there. We'll all be there. It'll be a big, happy family. But Vincent, thank you so much for being here. And it's so good to have you. All right, guys, calm down. Everybody, calm down. All right, there we go. Vincent, we are here, and we're going to talk about something amazing. It was on the thumbnail for this video, and that is the GL Motion. So that is what we're going to be diving in. You have some amazing news, but I'm going to let you kind of take the helm here and guide us to where you want us to go.
Okay. Thank you, Jacob, for inviting me again. And that will be a nice sneak peek before next week's SuperCon. So before we start on the Motion, just want to give you guys some update on some of the newest projects that we have been working on. And I want to show you, this is the 24 scale Illinois that GreenLight have been selling for ages. Okay, so that's the old one. It's one of the one that I picked up from the warehouse. Okay, and this is a brand new one. See?
Wow, look at that.
Yeah, it's totally different.
Improved.
Yeah, it's at a completely different level. The car is a 3D scan, and thanks to the licensor at Gone in 60 Seconds, Michael, he kindly supplied us with the CAD file. So we made the car based on the real CAD file. So it's scanned from one of the Illinois that he built. So if you put the two side by side, you only can see how big is the difference when you put it side by side. You see, right?
Yep.
And then when you go side by side, you see. Sorry, yeah, you see.
Yeah, the wheels are better. The body kit's better.
Well, the wheels, the silhouette of the car, and if you look at the rear end, right? So this
way
is
crisper body lines.
Exactly. Yeah, and this is what you will be expecting. This one is going to retire, and so this one will come on board. So we have two versions. This is the version that that will be the new GreenLight casting. So it will be basic. It will be rolling wheels. It will be open doors. So it will be open doors. But then later on, we will introduce a new version. Well, but you see the interior of the new one is so much different than the old one. So what we're doing, we're basically scaling down 118 into 124. Yeah. So can you see that?
Beautiful. Yeah. Yeah, I got you on the full screen too. So.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Well, can you put me back on the screen so I can see the coordinate of the... Yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so as you can see here. And then if you compare this with the old one, yeah, so it's very different.
Yeah.
So that's something that we have working on. You know what? A lot of people thought we have only been working on 64 scale, but in fact we're actually working on multiple stuff. A lot of our tooling need to be revised. A lot of our tooling has to be improved. So this is just one of the example. Yeah, and then not just 24 scale. So I think GreenLight must have sold I don't know how many pieces since day one, since we have the Gone in 60 Seconds license. Well, I think maybe like 300,000-400,000 pieces of the Eleanor, right? The old one. But that's what's coming up for the premium line.
Wow.
So that's the difference.
And it's got the slot for the GLP opening injected molded case.
In the meantime, we also have the GT500, the new GT500. You see the shapes?
Mm-hmm.
And if you compare it side by side,
oh yeah.
Well, now you can clearly see the difference between the Alloy and the regular GT500. So the side, see the side, right? And also towards the rear end. Okay. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So these are the stuff that, well, the reason why I want to do this streaming with you is because sneak peek, before Vegas show, if anyone is coming to Vegas, they can see this in person. And we will also have, I don't have the sample with me because I need to pick it up before my flight to Vegas. So that is going to be on Saturday. We are going to present the world first 1/64 scale Crown Vic, all open, hood open, doors open, trunks open, front wheel steering. So it's basically 1/18 scale features, but now scaled down into 1/64 for the first time, and it's a really nice model. And you guys are going to see it in Vegas. Yeah, and I cannot wait to show you
and
guys.
Is that going to be the resin piece, or is it going to be like diecast, or what can we expect?
It's diecast, 100% diecast. Yeah, whatever coming out from GreenLight is always diecast. Yeah, it's always diecast. Yeah. So over the last 18 months, we have been improving a lot in our tool shop. So we have been working a lot in advancing our machines, like our way of design, like because a lot of people think that, we just hire a tool shop and you just let the tool shop to do it. But the difference between the new GreenLight is we have our own tool shop. So one of the magic is because we have our own tool shop, so we can make something different than the other. Because the way how we do it, the way how we design the molds, which is it requires a lot of scientific knowledge, the flow of the zinc alloy in 420 degree across the cavity, how do you make the presentation nice enough? And also what I have just shown you just now, this is what we call in the industry, this is called the first shot, T0, test number 0, start from 0, okay? So this is the kind of surface that we get from the first shot. So most of the time, with a lot of people when they do first shot, the first shot you can't even put together. Yeah. So it maybe take up to like the third, the fourth, in order to finish the car, and then it takes the production a few times, to sharpen the tools and all these things, So what we're building is beyond a diecast car. It's actually the mother of the diecast car. What makes a diecast car? It's the mold. Yeah. And then what we are striving to improve is to build a better mold, So if you have a better copy machine, then whatever you're going to print the paper, then it will be better. It will have better colors. Yeah.
And going back to that Crown Vic, what series is that going to be a part of? Can we see more cars that have the features of opening hood, doors, trunk?
Yeah. So under the it will be we are going to resurrect an old GreenLight subcategory called Under the Hood. Under the Hood was the collector club in GreenLight back then. I think GreenLight stopped using it after 2011 or 12. Maybe it was not enough casting or whatever reason. But Under the Hood was the collector club of GreenLight back then. And it used to come with a beautiful box. I still kept a couple, And then the definition of Under the Hood from back then, it was just open hood. So now we're taking Under the Hood to a new level. It will be all open. steering. Yeah. So basically, sort of like minimizing a 1/18 scale diecast car into 64. Yeah. So it's something new. Yeah. And Crown Vic is just the beginning. Yeah. It's just a starting point. There are already at least 10 models that we're going to develop in all open. Yeah.
Yeah, someone was commented on one of our videos and asked about what about the Under the Hood series. Under the Hood sounds like it's coming back, which is kind of a game changer, and I'll explain why I think so. We have some customizers in the chat, and I know some of them love using GreenLight, use it exclusively because of the true 164. So one, it's going to be awesome for collectors in general. All opening parts, 164, that's huge. But this is going to take the customizers game to the next level as well, I would imagine.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course. Yeah. And also the way when we make Under the Hood, it's not just a regular packaging, because packaging is 50% of the product, right? So the packaging that we design is a specific only cater to Under the Hood. It will not available in other lines. It's not like the G acrylic. G acrylic is sort of like a special event car packaging. So each of our line we have specifically designed things to we have specifically designed a packaging to cater every single line that we're coming out with. Yeah.
And when could we expect to see that club membership or that whole program kind of roll out? Do we have a time frame estimate
I think
on
that will be I think that will be summertime. Yeah, with everything that we're doing now. Yeah, because in the meantime we're working in multiple projects, in parallel. So just now I was showing you that, and also a couple months ago when we were at the Indiana show, and we have actually showcased the 3D models of the Chevrolet Express van, and here it comes. You see, this is the glass transport van.
Can you see yourself in the picture? Because it should be just on you.
No, it's just you.
Oh no. All right. We'll just keep it like this then.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So this is the glass transport van. Yeah. But again, because this is a factory CAD file, so that's why the car, all the silhouette, everything is so perfectly done. Yeah. And then this is such a common car in the States. You almost see it in every street corner. Yeah. Right. So you have the plumber's van. Okay. And then, of course, you have the policeman.
And it's just so amazing. I mean, you have the roof lines, the grooves in the roof. You have the kind of windows.
What you notice over here, what we have spent a lot of time to improve is between the windshield and the rooftop. So you see a lot of the time in the old days with all the older diecasts, you have the rooftop very thick, and then you have the windshield. So you can obviously see a layer. But what we're trying to improve now is the connecting line between the windshield and the roof. So now you can see it goes very smooth, right? All the way, just like a real car. See it over here? Right?
Yeah, no bumps or gaps.
Exactly. Yeah, this is what we're trying to improve. And then with the siren light and all these things. And then we have different versions. The top version, it will have an open gate. It will have, and it has a magnet. Yeah. So once it closes, oops, sorry. Okay. It will not fall out.
And is that going to have an opening hood like for the opening the hood series, or is that going to be like a highway model? Or?
Yeah, I think that will be. So whatever we are going to do now, GreenLight Premium will be the GreenLight Premium will be new GreenLight new tooling. Yeah. Okay. And then highway will be with just open hood and front wheel steering. Okay, to keep the cost at a reasonable level. And then under the hood will be all out. Under the hood, we will not care about cost. We'll just try to make the best car possible. Yeah. So, and also that what the release time of under the hood is maybe like once in every 2 months, because of the complexity of the car. because we want to make the car perfect, so it would take a lot of time.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see the packaging of the Under the Hood series because you're already a genius with that G pack. That's already as genius as it comes. So I don't know what we can expect for Under the Hood, but it's going
I
to be.
can show you I can show you the original hand sketch of the G pack. So it actually evolved, from paper. When we first came up with the design, we were like, hey, we want to do something that that you can open the packaging without damaging, right? So it has actually evolved a lot of time, 3D print, and then until we have registered it, for the patent and all these things, So it was a journey, during the design, So, and then also what I want to show you guys that for anyone who are coming to Vegas, you guys can actually try this. It's not brand new, okay? We have released that in Japan last year, but because we have too many things at the same time, so it didn't come to America yet. But this year it is coming. It's the radio control 1 to the 64 tank. So you know how GreenLight have Battalion 64? But Battalion 64 was sort of like, it's just a diecast. One of the parts is made by diecast, and it didn't even have a rolling function, right? But before GreenLight, we already have a company in our portfolio, which is Forces of Valor, which is quite famous in the military collecting space. And then we also have another company called VS Tank, but now we're integrating VS with Forces of Valor, to simplify the brand segment. But I've always thought about what we used to have 1/72nd scale radio control tank back in 2016-17. But the trouble is when you make 72nd scale tank, you have to scale all the electronics down to 72nd scale. And that's very, very difficult. I can tell you that. And if anyone tell you that they will make 72nd scale into radio control, I can assure you that a lot of them actually exaggerate. It is bigger than 72nd scale because they need additional space to make it bigger. So that's why they would put on the packaging 72nd scale, but it's actually 168. It's 167 or maybe even 165, okay? So for anyone that is very shape authentic, like they really chase for the ultimate shape authenticity, right? That will not be the true, so that's not true scale. So in one day I thought to myself, I'm like, since now 64 scale is becoming, once again, 64 scale has been around for a long time, but now it's coming back to become the major benchmark once again, okay? So why don't we make the tank in 64 scale, right? Since we don't have enough space anyways in 72nd scale. And 72nd scale is a military collectible scale. But when you drive it as radio control, since it's going to drive far away from your eyesight, okay? So does it matter between 64 and 72? And after consulting with a lot of collector, with the shops, with anyone I know, and then they were like, hey, maybe we can contemplate 64 scale. So it has taken more than 12 months to develop the world first 64 scale Sherman tank. And we actually start with 4 different models, And then it has the Tiger. And it has quite a lot of functions. I'm going to show you, okay? So this is the radio control. And then you start. Then it looks for a signal, you see? And then all we have to do is just press the button at the hall, okay? And then just press this. See? Yeah, and now it's bind up, okay? But then what I have done is, because over the past I have been doing a lot of research with military. When you start the tank, it's not like a car. You don't start it right away. The first thing you do is you start the auxiliary power unit. So the tank has power. So the turret can move. See? And I've also put some sound effects. You see? And then also the shooting. So when it shoots, the track will actually recoil. See?
That's crazy.
And then when I start the tank, so when I press this, you see? But the sound effect is coming out from the transmitter because you will always be holding the controller. Well, the tank will be driving far away, you know. Well, so that's the reason we put the sound module over in this side, okay? But now I'll show you how smoothly it drives. See? Right? Yeah, and then when you want to stop it, so there's actually like 15 different sound simulation, even in a small tank like this. So next week when you come by Vegas, you can try the first time driving a 64 scale tank into a 64 scale car. Everything will be in the same arena. So and then we have and it's really cool. You know what? If you look at the size of a tank and a car, see how amazing? See, this is almost like in real life. This is how big a real Sherman tank. This is how big, well, a car. You see. And in comparison, because during World War II, Sherman tank was considered a medium tank. It is nothing as big as the German tanks. The German tanks are heavy tanks, right? So now I present to you the German Tiger tank. When you can see the difference, you see?
Yeah, that's a beast right there.
Exactly. If you compare the Sherman and the Tiger, you see the size difference?
And those will have some type of infrared as well, right? So you can shoot each other in the tanks.
It has infrared function that you can do gaming. So you and I can be in the same team. So there's a very special game, a game feature that we have developed. It's also patented. It's called a team system. So basically, when you switch it to neutral, okay. So you see over here, when you go to neutral, well, everyone fight on their own, okay. But when you select team A or B, then me and you can be in the same team, A and B. And then we can go fight against someone. And then we can form our team as big as 8 tanks.
Wow.
Or so it can be 8 versus 3, 8 versus 2, or 8 versus 1 Rambo. One Rambo will fight with everyone, you know. Yeah. So that's the fun part, you know. Yeah, because what we're trying to put into the product, it's not just a collecting. It's also fun, you know. A couple of the friends sitting, will in front of a table, chit chat, you know. We'll have a beer, and then you can play. Yeah, it's the experience that we're trying to create.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. I know one of my friends, Charland, is super stoked about kind of the battalion line and the tanks. So I'm sure he is going to be absolutely thrilled about. Now, was there ever just a moment where you were like, you know what, let's make true 164 RC? Like, where did this come from?
Well, it actually came from, I think the idea started in 2024. That was in summertime. So when my kids were doing summer school in Los Angeles, and then we shopped it and we bought a so-called 64 scale RC. So, and when he bought it, he was super excited. And then, and later that evening, you know, he played with the car, and then he broke it the same night. He was trying to fix it, and he couldn't fix it. And I heard him crying at night, and I went to him. I was like, his name is Morgan. It's my oldest child. So I went to Morgan. I said, "Hey, Morgan, what's going on?" You know, he said, I'm trying to fix this car, you know. Well, there's something wrong with the steering, you know. Well, I said the car didn't even have a steering. It's just one wheel spinning and the other don't, that can create the rotation, right? So, and then, you know, was crying and all that. And I said to him, you know, well, when we return home, yeah, we'll we will build our own radio control. Yeah, so that's sort of how it started. You will not believe it. It was
Literal
kind of
super
stupid,
dad.
you know. Yeah. And then when we got back, and obviously we have certain sort of like off the shelf tools that we can use from the radio control tank, since at that time the tank's development have already been finished. And then, I thought to myself, can we do something in radio control car? But the trouble is, I've seen a lot of radio control cars, but the kind of radio control cars that I've come across over the past are the car with, uh, with a common chassis. Okay, with one common chassis. So it doesn't matter if it's a Charger, if it's a smaller car. They all look the same. They all perform the same. Okay, the only difference is the body shell. And then I thought to myself, I'm like, well, can we do something different? And then the next thing, obviously, we bumped into the question is, well, but you need a lot of tooling, right? Yeah. Well, you need to tool a lot of different chassis. Let's say like a Fox Mustang, 1987. 1987 Fox Mustangs is a lot smaller, than a 1970 Charger. So if you purposely scale up the Fox body to fit the Charger, then the Fox body will not look like a Fox body anymore. It will become a big fox. It will be a massive fox, right? So then it comes to the point that when we decide to engage in this project, one of the beauty with GreenLight is GreenLight has a lot of licenses. So when we present the idea to our licensor, and then they're very happy, they're like, hey, you want to do something like true 64 scale? And I remember the first time when I went to Liberty Walk, and because the diecast with Liberty Walk, everyone wants to do it. It's already very crowded, right? And when I went to Nagoya to see Kato-san, and I said to him, well, I want to do RC, and then he went to me. He was like, yeah, because he said it's very congested already. Well, in diecast. But the question is, he said, can you really do it? Like, is it really feasible? So he told the translator. And I said, yeah, well, can you give me like 6 months and I will come back to you with something. And eventually I did, I went back to him with the first, the R35 radio control, which was shown in Tokyo Auto Salon 2 months ago. And everyone were shocked. They were like, hey, well, that's really nice. Yeah, because one of the things is when we build the car, we make sure the car is completely in scale. So when you don't drive it, it's exactly it's exactly a collectible. And that's the reason why when we came up with the name, it is not it is not exactly called GreenLight. It is called GL Motion. And why we come up with this name is because last year at SuperCon, when I was in Vegas, so after the show, I was with my father in that trip, So obviously when we are together, we're always bouncing ideas back and forth. And then we were like, oh, this is not just a radio control car. This is actually like a collectible. Then I'm like, yeah, it's collectible, and but it has a mobility function. And then we're bouncing back and forth with names. We're like, well, collectible mobile, GreenLight mobile. We're like, it sounds like a mobile company, right? And then we're like, no, it doesn't sound right. Oh, GreenLight on the go, yeah. And then I was like, well, it sounds like a delivery company, And then eventually we were like, oh no, motion, right? Remember, well, the law of physics, motion, right? Well, Newton first law, second law, third law, and then we were like, hey, well, let's call it motion. And what motion? It's a collectible in motion, and GreenLight equals to collectible. So that's why the equations become GreenLight in motion. It derived into, in short, GL Motion, and everyone were like, hey, that's a cool name, GL Motion. Let's do it. So that's how it all started. Yeah. The idea, the inception of this brand is actually from Las Vegas. Yeah. So,
and the cool thing I like about it, and you kind of alluded to it yourself, is it's the same scale as a diecast. You can drive it around, but then you can put it back on the shelf with your other diecast and no one's the wiser. You know, to anyone else, it's just another diecast car up there.
Yeah. And also one thing is what we have done pretty much like a slot car. You know how in a slot car, you don't have to buy the set every time, right? You don't have to buy the track and the controller and the car every time. It's the same concept. After your first purchase, you don't have to buy the radio anymore. Yeah, so that's the radio. So after the first purchase, you don't have to buy this anymore. This is just a one-time thing. Then it's done. You can collect the car. So that's pretty much like collecting a diecast car. And then, well, Jacob, you can have, this weekend when you fancy, you can drive your Illinois, to race with your friends. And then the next week, when all your friends say, we want to do some hitch and tow towing, well, you can drive a pickup truck. And in the Vegas show next week, we will present the very first 1 to the 64 scale pickup truck that you can actually tow. Well, that you can put a trailer behind. It can actually tow. Yeah. So I'll be driving a Challenger. You will be driving the GMC Sierra. Then you can tow me. So it's about the fun. What I have come to realize is after being to Tokyo Auto Salon, been to Nuremberg Toy Fair, been to all these, I've seen all these people. What I realize is GreenLight GL Motion is redefining, is a hybrid between diecast and radio control, okay? And in radio control, a lot of people thought, yes, we want to race the car, we want to drive it really quick. But what we have come to realize is our definition in GL Motion is actually driving slow. You can drive the car very slow, the way how we tune our gearbox, the way how we tune our handling. You can actually drive it on the tabletop. You can enjoy by yourself, even if you're alone. And then you can, right, all the cars that you have behind you, Jacob, well, you can actually take them out. You can spin it around at your tabletop. You don't even have to go outside, If it's super cold outside, well, let's say I'm back in the office, Midwest. We had plenty of snow this year. I can't go outside, too cold. Well, then I can do it inside, in my bedroom, Or I can go out, to the dining room in a table. Then I can race. Well, I can go to the office table, the meeting room to race with my colleague, And then I can drive it slow just to appreciate the beauty of the car, because the way how we make it is very authentic. Yeah. So I will present to you. Well, and the very good thing is this year, is one of the big things that we will announce as well in SuperCon. GreenLight have been trying, but however, it has been very difficult to obtain the Fast and Furious license, But now we finally make it happen. So next year we will also present ourselves, in while we are at SuperCon, we have signed up a new contract with NBC Universal. Well, thank you to NBC, trusting us, to develop a new product, that will be fun for the public, for the collector. And two of the very first car that we're coming out with are the car from the first movie. So basically, what we're going to do, we will make two cars from. Well, it's more than two cars. But with each time release, it will be one pair. It will be two cars each time. Because suppose, well, according to the movie, then you race, right? It's like in the first movie, towards the very ending scene, when Torito and what Brian O'Connor, right? They were racing, that was such an epic scene, right? We'll try to see if they would get hit by the train or not, right? So now you can do this with your buddies. So presenting to you guys, so this is 64 scale, 1970 Charger, as seen in the movie. So we're still working on certain things at the front to make it more authentic, but the car is based on the real scan. So you see all the wheels, you see the supercharger, but it actually drives.
Amazing.
So, and then I want to show you as well. Hang on. We have the Supra. You see? So it's a prototype, that's why the wheels, the clearance with the fenders is a bit taller than it's supposed to be. But then when you and you see the scale, see?
Oh yeah.
This is what I have been trying to tell you. If we make one universal chassis, it will not be authentic anymore. Right?
Yep.
And also sneak peek of what's coming up. A lot of people would love this car. The first R34 GTR RC, completely in scale. Yeah, Fast and Furious. And again, if you compare the size, see?
And I think I may be able to show these renderings here. Do you want me to try to show the renderings?
Yeah, okay. Yeah. And you see, with the two Japanese cars, you're almost the same. See? All right.
So I don't know if you can see on your end, but right now I should be showing the rendering of the Supra. Do you see that on your end?
Yeah.
So tell us about the Supra. This is your rendering?
Yeah.
Tell us how we're going to make this happen.
Well, so basically, the car, instead of making the car body in diecast, we would do it the other way around. The body of the car is going to be made in ABS plastic, and that has had a purpose, because when you drive the vehicle, inevitably it will fall on the ground, or for whatever reason, right? So then what happened is, if we make the body in diecast, when you dropped it, it will be dented, it will be damaged almost straight away because it's heavier. But then what we have done is we have made the chassis in diecast. Yeah. So it's the other way around. Yeah. So, but when we make the chassis in diecast, when you hold the car, it's almost like, the feel is almost like a diecast car because it's heavier. Yeah. So this is sort of like our unique blend. Yeah. So when you hold the car, you won't feel very flimsy because it's a plastic. No, the entire chassis is one piece formed diecast, and it also gives you a low center of gravity. But then the body will be ABS plastic, and the car is going to have headlight, tail light, and for the Fast and Furious car, you're going to have underglow, and we will have the basic version and the professional version. The professional version of the car, it will even include a speaker. We have 31 different sound simulation. So I will show you next week when I see you in person. Yeah. So, and also the wheel, you see the wheel of this? Every type of car will have this unique wheel. So if this is a Fast and Furious car, Supra, you will get a Supra wheel. If this is a S650 2024 Mustang, you're going to have a Mustang wheel. If this is a Nissan, a Nissan R34 GTR, you're going to get the GTR wheel. So it's a very like it's a personalized experience.
So that's quite interesting, because it's almost like the controllers can become collectibles themselves, right? Like someone might be chasing this specific wheel almost.
Yeah, and also we have transport station, because when you have all these cars, the more authentic we build them, the more they are prone to damages, right? So the question it comes to, what happened after you play with the car? How do you store it? Where do you keep it, right? How do you keep it away from contamination and all those things? So we also have a patent design box, a carry case that will carry the car. So after you play with the car, you can put it back to the case, which I'm going to show you guys next week. Yeah, it's a really cool design. So this is almost like what I call it. It's almost like a four-wheel drive. To me, a four-wheel drive experience that I used to have when I was a kid. And I hope this is what we want to do for the kids in 2020, 26 and forward. Yeah.
Now, one thing I asked you about previously, which may have maybe changed now with the Fast and Furious line, are we going to be able to fit a gyro in there and get some drifting going on for Tokyo Drift, maybe? Or
so, and that's exactly the reason why I said to you, we have the basic line, and then we have the professional line. So the basic line will be the car that will drive well. And also, you see the way how we tune our car. Every car will have a different profile. So we actually built a 1:64 scale drag strip in our factory. It's 22.7 meter long when you convert quarter mile back to 64 scale. So when we design a car, we have different gear ratio combination, and also we have different electronic setup. So the combination of mechanical and electronics that can make every car performs differently. Because if you think about it, Jacob, well, if you have I just thrown you a random example. If you have a 1970 Charger RT, okay, no modification, it cannot be as quick as a 2025 Shelby Mustang Super Snake. Agree? 2025 right. Super Snake is a brand new car. Is almost 800 horsepower, supercharged. It deliver a lot of horsepower, and you're talking about you comparing mechanical science between 2025 and 1968. Okay, so 2025 should naturally be quicker, than 1970, unless you modify it. Okay, so my question is, when we say authentic, is it just authentic down to the scale, or also authentic down to the handling? So what we're doing now is also authentic down to the handling. When we make the car, certain cars we will just make it have a regular control, like a regular performance. But with certain cars, let's say the difference between a 2024 S650 Mustang GT, okay, a GT. So that will have the basic steering, everything is basic. And when you have a 2025 Shelby Mustang Super Snake, that will have a servo motor steering. Everything will be more precise, because then you're almost ready to take it to the racetrack. And the way how we develop a racetrack now is very easy, simple. It's a mouse pad. But then we can have a lot of different track, and we are going to make a lot of different accessories. So this is almost like a slot car, but now with no boundary. You're not bounded by the track. And then it will give you all kinds of weird stuff, Yeah, I'll show you the video next week in Vegas when we had this presentation in Japan. We invite a lot of kids to try, and then there were 4 cars starting at the starting line, and in the first corner, one of the cars flipped over. So that's something that will happen in real life, But that's the fun part about the whole game, If everything is just performed regularly, right? Well, then you don't see the fun side, Why some people like to play with Grand Theft Auto? Well, I'm also a big fan, okay? Because in the world of Grand Theft Auto, you can obey the rule to do mission, or you can just become yourself. You can do whatever you want, right? Yeah. So it's almost the same in radio control now, the way how we have present our product. Yeah. Yeah. And also, this is the radio control Challenger. Yeah. Well, and I will give you a diecast card just so you can see the difference. This is our 64 scale Challenger. You see?
Mm-hmm. I mean,
so
I'm not seeing much difference.
Exactly. Yeah. Except you can drive it. And then for the SRT Hellcat version, you can hear the sound of, and we go talk to all the car buddies that we know, that we possibly, in our friends list, then we go over who has SRT Hellcat, who has Skyline GTR R34, who has R35 Nismo, and then we go to them and we record the sound from the engine. So in the transmitter in the professional version, there is a sound chip. You can actually change the sound chip. So when you change the sound chip, a 1970 Charger, it will sounds like a Charger. It will sounds like an engine with a carburetor, right? You know, when you start the engine, it will. But when you start a newer engine, you know, electronic fuel injection, you know, it will rum 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 rum. See, this is also what have already been considered in this radio control. So I think that will be, I'm I'm pretty confident that that will be a game changer. Yeah.
So how do you plan to get kind of convert the diecast purists per se to checking out some of your RC cars?
Mhm. I think not all of them would switch cam, because a lot of people just stick with diecast. But I think maybe like 25% of the population, you know, they would prefer to have also to have an RC option. Because if you go Google today, like look at all the Hot Wheels, look at all the big brands, people have actually turned the car into RC as well. And when I say RC, um, like people can build diorama, people can have a car, and then you could have a car, and just like how we present ourselves in Tokyo Auto Salon, we built a 64 scale Liberty Walk factory at the corner of the racetrack, and every kid was trying to park their car in the parking lot, so they could already have a good 20 minutes fun just to park the car, just to do back in, or just to do front in, or just to do parallel parking. So there's, I think, um, when a pure diecast collector get to know all these, I think they may be interested to try it. And also price point wise, you know, like is at a pretty reasonable price point. You know, it's the full set. It starts at 49.99 SRP, so that's pretty reasonable for like a Sammy hobby grade. And then after the first time, you don't have to buy the transmitter. The price will be cheaper. Yeah, so you can just collect a car, and then, well, just like I said to you, you know, well, this weekend you can drive a Mustang. The next weekend you could drive a Challenger, and the weekend after you could drive a Camaro. And I mean, every type of car has their fans. You know, yeah. One of our one of the gentlemen that researched for us, you know, he's a big Camaro fan. You know, so I asked him. I said, Tony, you know, well, have you not considered well driving anything other than Camaro? He said, no, I'm a Chevy guy. Well, I stick with Camaro. You know, yeah. Yeah, I live and die with Camaro. So that mindset, it actually portrayed it into RC car as well. Certain people want to play a specific model. And going back to the question you have, you know, for gyro, for the professional version, there will be certain things, certain versions that will be available with a gyro. Yeah. Because when you want to have a drifting car, the steering angle has to be more than 50. So for a regular car, the steering angle that we have preset is about 30. Yeah.
Yeah, and going back to your diorama into the first release, you could build the diorama. You could have your model train coming. You could be
Yeah.
getting the cars jumping through. There's a lot you
Yeah.
can do with it. The world is basically
Yeah.
yours, especially if you wanted to make a fun video. You know, I know a lot of people love Hot Wheels racing. Hot Wheels racing
Mhm.
is big, racing the cars down the track.
Yeah,
This is
yeah, yeah. I also
the same thing without a
I
track.
watched that a lot too. Yeah, I watched those a lot too because it's creativity. You know, they built
Hmm.
the track around the entire house, and then they would release the car, you know, from a high end, so they get the gravity force, you know, and then just have the car just see how far it can go. So I mean, this is why it is become a popular line, because it provide the fundamental tools for you to build your creativity on top of it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. There's some comments coming in saying we need more JDM. I know that I have told you that as well. We need to see some JDM. Um,
Yeah, we will officially launch the premium line in April. So last year, I know a lot of a lot of our good fans have been asking us. They said, why are you guys only putting all the cars for event exclusive? And I'll explain the reason why. Okay, the reason is because GreenLight did not used to build 64 scale wise. Okay, like a very premium quality. Okay, so the skill set that we use over the past, the way how they built the tools, it wasn't really meant for like a sort of like a Redline Club level. Okay, yeah. So we have taken actually 1 year to test our skills, to test, how is the feedback, how is what do people think about it? Okay, well, is it okay? So now everything is confirmed. Next month we will start to launch the first line in GreenLight Premium. Yeah, and then the first line will be called Sakura Speed, and Sakura Speed will include we become very specific and four-wheel drive. And I mean the car that we do for the JDM stuff are all real car scan. So it's very special. Yeah. So, well, as a matter of fact, can you give me 20 seconds? I'll run to the conference room. I will bring you one of the JDM to show you. Okay.
All right, let's do it. Let's see it.
Okay. Yeah. Give me. Yeah.
Many machines rolling on my desk, dreams in metal, precision at its best. From drifting legends to trucks that haul, a small world where we race it all. Chrome shines bright like a starry night, wheels spinning fast under neon light. Reaching diecast, we're living the dream, tiny cars.
Yeah, I'm back. Okay.
We're back.
So,
let's take a look.
Okay, this is the 2002. A Subaru WRX. What we have commonly called this the Buckeye. So you see the way how we built the headlight. It's actually a separate piece. So we've chromed the inside the housing. So we've chromed the housing of the light before we put the lens. And you see, compared to the old ways, how they now all the grill parts are separated. So when you paint them and insert them, you will get a clean cut. So you will not have any paint spilled between the line. Yeah, you see the difference? And also the
Crazy
shape.
detail.
Yeah, and then we also have the special version at that time. So no one have actually done this car over the past. It's called the S202. It's a special version of the Subaru from 2002. So it has a different set of BBS rims. So when you compare the difference, you will see. Yeah. So this is the S202. Okay. So except for the Buckeye, well, the Subaru WRX have actually evolved it. See, this is the original Buckeye, and then it comes with a more square headlight. Yeah. This is a 3D sample. And then finally in 2006, it have migrated to the final one, the Hawkeye. See? Yeah. So these are just some of the stuff that we're doing now, because it takes a long time, to build these tools, to do 3D scanning and all these things. And then brand new Superbird.
Superbird.
Yep. Yeah,
Look at
brand
that.
new one. Yeah, and then we'll have the Shelby truck.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and then we will also have the regular truck. Yep.
That's awesome.
So, yeah. So it's actually a lot of things, including the GL Motion line, the Neo Premium line, and all these things. Yeah. So that's why, it's taking a lot of time. But everything it has come to mature. So starting from next month, we will start to have pre-order. But unlike previously, we want to actually showcase the actual car sample instead of just posting a flat art to tell people that this is a premium line, because then your collector will not believe it. Seeing is believing. Agree? So they have to see it. We have to present ourselves, in the correct quality, and then collector will see it. Because I'm I'm also a collector. Yeah.
And I think that's what sets you apart from pretty much everybody in the diecast making space. We have a couple of questions coming in. The first is from Timeless Morphs. He asked, was the Falcon R34 an event exclusive? I think we saw that on our last live when you were at Tokyo Auto Salon.
Yeah. Well, so that car will also be available in SuperCon. So we have very small quantity remains, and we will ship them to SuperCon. If they're interested, yes, they can ask their friend come by, to pick one up. And they're pretty nice, the new Falcon R34 is totally different than the old one. That is a completely new tool. The rims are different, the wings are different, and also the packaging. Yeah. And if anyone can pick up the Chase, the Chase is really nice. Yeah. I don't even have one. Yeah. I'm trying to locate it.
Chase. Save me one. I'll buy it. Give it to me.
Yeah.
Someone else says, we need a second-gen Dodge Ram, please. That comes from Deloitte, who is pretty much exclusively using GreenLight to make some of the craziest customs that we've ever seen. So that's another.
We will go back to pickup truck very soon, because it actually consumed us a lot of R&D power to start the motion line. But now, since everything is almost finished, and it's coming to release, so we will free up a lot of our R&D power. We will get back a lot into pickup truck, which is one of the strengths of GreenLight. Yeah. And also police cars. Yeah.
Another question in coming from Hitman. And funny thing is me and Hitman get into Vegas about the same time, bright and early, 8 a.m. He said, Vincent, are you going to need help at SuperCon with booth setup? He will be there nice and early. So do you want help? I'll be there early. I'll help you. Hitman will help you.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, we will have a booth there. Yeah, and then we will also have announcement that we have a very, very famous designers coming on board with GreenLight. So we will make the official announcement in SuperCon. Yeah.
A lot of big stuff happening. Now, getting back to the GL Motion, do you think this opens the door for any performance upgrades? I know like companies like Traxxas, right? You can modify them. Do you think you would have your own customization line? Is that something you would leave to other companies to make for your RC cars? What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think we will have certain things that can be available to modify, because when we make our RC car, you can actually change the tires, because it's like anything like a professional RC car. The tires actually have wear and tear. So the more you use it, the more you grind it against the surface, that it will become ball head, and also it will lose grip, and also because the tires itself is made by rubber. So the more when you drive it, it will just become bigger. Then the wheel then the tires is going to fall off, at a very sharp turn. So there will be accessories that we provide that made available, for like a wear and tear parts, like tires, and then all the parts, maybe the like the swing arm, and all those stuff, it will be available. Yeah, and also the gearbox. The way how we design our gearbox, we have a lot of different profile, just as I explained to you, because we try to create the scale. So what we try to do is when we have a car, we will put it into the 64 scale drag strip standard. Okay, how long does it take to complete 22.7 meter? That will give you the performance rating, right? Instead of telling you, oh, Jacob, it's fast, it's super fast, it's ultra fast. Now we drop a concrete number. Okay, 13.97 seconds completed the 64 scale track. So let's say, just out of the blue, okay, one day if we do a Pagani RC car, or something super exotic, right? And like a Celine S7 RC car, then obviously you're expecting the Celine RC car, to be quicker than a regular car. Yeah. And then when you drive a pickup truck, and obviously it will be less responsive, compared to a race car. And I had this experience when I was doing the testing. When you drive a pickup truck in the racetrack, you feel really heavy. You feel very clumsy, yeah. But then when all of a sudden, when I jumped back to a Nissan GTR, and it was just sharp, well, everything is just like, yeah, it's like offload 200 pounds, yeah. And you can almost fly. Yeah.
And I know previously you had said like the trucks, they're not going to be fast, but they're going to have all that torque for the hauling. And
torque, yeah, because we want to tow, the way how we engineer it, we make the pickup truck. There's a little hook at the back, so the pickup truck, the GL Motion pickup truck, will be compatible with a lot of the original GreenLight hitch and tow. So that's what the fun part. When I was doing the demonstration in the office to my colleague, they were all laughing because I put a trailer at the back. Well, I put a Pendum trailer at the back, and I put the race car, and then I was driving them. And until a certain point, they jump off the trailer. Yeah. So it was fun,
And we have another question, and I asked you about this, and I swear this is not a question from me. You could look at the chat. Someone said, any plans for an R34 like the Spain convention car for the American market?
Yes, yeah. So R34, when we created that was for to promote the brand in Spain, because we come across with this event, and that is a brand new tool. So that's why the event organizer said they want to try it, right? And after this tooling will be made available. And also when we create the R34, not only we create the V-spec, we create that specifically. In our cam, we have a very very big Japanese car collector. So he collect real cars. Okay, he now lives in New York, but he loved JDM, to the bone. So he gives us a lot of help. When we create the Skyline V-spec, we specifically research not just the V-spec. We have the S-tune, we have the R-tune, we have the Z-tune. So there are different stuff. And also we work very closely with Nissan, thanks to Nissans, and thanks to one of our good friend, Hiroshi Tamura-san, that we know he's the father of the modern GTR. He gives us a lot of he helps us. He educates us with a lot of knowledge. And every time when we go to Japan, he will take us to the Yokohama HQ, and then to brainstorm some ideas. So Nissan will be big, for us. And there are a lot more vehicle coming out. R32. And then for the radio control side, we will have the Liberty Walk ER34, and also the very extravagant body kit design, the R32, the LB Work R32. That almost looks like a Gundam. Yeah, we will have that one as well. Yeah.
Amazing. Now, I know a lot of your stuff, and you keep it as to scale and as accurate as possible, kind of like it just rolled off of the showroom floor. Do you have any plans to do like a GL modified line where you're throwing, now that you have the Liberty Walk license, you're throwing body kits on it, you're slamming them? Is there any plan for that in GreenLight at all?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, in the future. Yeah. So never say never, right? Well, I think no one ever thought that GreenLight would all of a sudden come up with a radio control line. But in fact, GreenLight did have radio control over the past, but it wasn't our own R&D. It was just because previous management know one of the factories in China, and then they have been doing the toy grade 1 to the 18 scale car, and then they just slapped the Fast and Furious. They just slapped the Fast and Furious IP into the car and make it an Eleanor, but it still sells quite well because people love Eleanor the car. But now whatever we're doing with motion is our own R&D. It's our own creation. So it's totally different. Yeah.
In regards to producing the cars, I would assume the cost to produce the RC car is much more expensive than a regular diecast because you have the remote, you have all the electronic components, you have
And
kind of
also
everything.
testing.
So
Testing in every work procedure. So the work procedure side, the product engineering side is very time consuming because it's not like was not like a diecast car when you put the shaft together. I was just reviewing the procedure the other day. Certain procedure requires, let's say, the tolerance can only be 0.4 millimeters. So we have to create a fixture that really tests a 0.4, and the wheels has to be the alignment has to be right. Like a lot of things because it's moving parts. I mean the gear has to be right in order to have a smooth function and all these things. So that's why the price reflects the complexity. But again, I believe that the price that we have set is reasonable for hobby grade because whatever we're doing right now is almost like an entry level hobby grade. But in hobby grade, just as you explained, Traxxas, many famous company, any RC car would easily cost, would be starting from 60, 70 US dollar, 80 US dollar. And but now you're talking about a vehicle with license, okay? Yeah, full license. And the vehicle is in scale. And the vehicle has die-cast component. And the body of the car is almost exactly the same way how we have created the die-cast. We have not cut down on any pet print. The only thing that you will find missing is the interior. It doesn't have an interior because instead of an interior, it's swapped to electronics and battery, right? And the windows will become a tinted window. And that's the only difference. Otherwise, but you sacrifice something to get something. You sacrificed your interior, but now you have headlight, now you have tail light, and now you have underglow, and now you can race with your friends. Mm-hmm. And then for anyone who is interested in mechanical sound, you can hear the sound. And every type of car will have a different sound. So it's a give and take. Yeah.
Vincent, 5 years from now, when me and you are doing one of our mini sit downs between now and then, what are we going to be talking about GL Motion? Where do we see this being in 5 years?
I think GL Motion is going to be like I said to you initially, it will be it will be a green light in motion. So whatever you see in GreenLight portfolio, let's say when we go to trade show, when we present the product to our licensor, we already have interested in RC mail truck, ambulance, police cars, and also want to remind you we're working on the police car right now. The Crown Vic, the type of police car that we're working on for the professional version. It's not just light; it also has sound. So it will be really cool. So we're trying to create a kind of like a motion city. The motion city, you can drive your car to the garage, you can drive your car to the gas station, to the dealership, and then there will be racetrack. There could be touring cars racing, there could be a GTD, there could be a Mustang GTD, and then it could be a van, it could be a bus. And then all of a sudden you can have tanks coming to the scene, rolling to everyone. So I think it's going to be fun. Yeah, moving forward, it will be fun. Yeah.
I think the beauty of this as well, and this just kind of hit me now, is the collector themselves can take it as far as they want. If they just want one or two and mess around with in their free time, they can do that. Or if they want to go crazy all out, they can make their basement a whole city and have their friends over. And it's really endless.
I remember last month when we had the meeting at Nuremberg Toy Fair, and our licensor said to us, don't send too many samples because you will drag everyone away from work. Only send 5. Do not send too many. Otherwise, no one will work. everyone would just start driving on the table, using their like mouse, the keyboard, as an obstacle. People would just be having fun,
We have a question coming in from Brian. Says, any plans on anything Euro? Porsche?
Yes, it's in the plan. Yeah, we're working hard, to try to make it happen. Yeah, so there are a couple major car manufacturer, just as Brian said, I'm also a big Porsche fan, so we're something down the pipeline. Yeah, when it's done, then we will then we will keep one update. But imagine if you have a radio controlled Porsche, well, that will be super fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll be on the lookout, and hopefully we'll do a live when that time comes.
Yeah.
Do you think that your line GL Motion can eventually change kind of how we define 164? Do you think it has that potential?
I think so, because obviously right now you see the 64 scale market is you have non-licensed brand emerging almost every week. You have new brand, you have all the names, and then you have the traditional players, in the field doing different subjects. And I think what we're offering right now is something alternative. Yeah. So I think the more when the product really get down to the stores, and then people start buying it, I think they will realize what we're talking about. Yeah, it's really fun. And then if it's fun, then they will carry on doing it, and then we will keep the R&D going. Well, it's not going to be what you see when a lot of people say when they come up with an RC car. Usually, a lot of them will say, "Oh, I'm just going to make 5 cars." Yeah, 5 different RC cars. No, we already have the plan for almost the next 36 months. So the initial batch, it would be Fast and Furious car. That would be like a Camaro. That would be like one of the car in the list is a 1969 Boss 302, and then 429. But then it can also have supercar. Well, have you thought about it? 64 scale Lamborghini. What about that, right? And then you could have, when we have so-called a diorama, it could have a diorama. In one of the diorama could be a truck, could be off-road. One of the diorama could be racetrack. One of the diorama could be a city driving. So sky is the limit. Imagination is the limit.
Yeah, and I think some of the beauty of this RC car stuff is kind of like you said. I can put them right here. That could be an RC car. I could have it in my nice display. And last time we did say there were going to be chases and chrome and hydrochrome and all of that. But I could display it, and then I get bored. I pull it out. I play with it.
Yes.
So really, and you can have one remote. So you're really not taking up any additional space other than one singular remote.
True.
And I think that's a lot of kind of problem is.
Well, and I think that's the reason why we said when we developed the car, we actually we've actually put a special character to each car. So every type of car will have a special character. So let's say a Charger, like a 1970 Charger, would drive different because the wheels are very small. When you drive the Charger, it feels immediately different than a 2020 Dodge Challenger. So because the wheels, the setup, the wheelbase, all these are different, the width of the tires. So just now I was showing you, we actually use the tires from the 64 diecast. So if the car has a narrower tires at the front, wider tires at the back, we will reflect that in 64 scale as well. And it will behave differently because you have more grip at the back, but at the front it's narrower, it's sharper for steering. So I think people will ask yourself, Jacob, ask myself, why do we like to collect diecast car? Because we love cars.
Mm-hmm.
We love cars. We go to YouTube, I would go to YouTube, to look at videos, old footages of Le Mans. Mazda 787B, and that's one of the reasons why. Well, hang on. So that's one of the reasons why I buy the Tomitech, right? Because I love the real car. Yeah. So
Tomato Hurst left a kind comment for you. He said, "Been dropping your name every time I see GreenLight stuff, Mr. CEO. You will change the diecast game. This I am sure of." The response has been great, Vincent. People are loving what you're doing. I am very excited to see you in Vegas and play with the RC cars and run over some cars with some tanks and blow up some other tanks and anything else. Is there anything else in the pipeline that you want to talk about?
I think that's pretty much it. I think we will show, and then we'll have another live stream when we get to Vegas, and then you can really, when you see it in person, not just my subjective opinion, you have to give them, or maybe you can get other guys, like other guys in the industry, or maybe other collector, let them try it, because their opinions are the most valuable. I can be subjective, because we develop it, and I'm one of the I would say co-founder of developing all this new stuff, and I would tell you that, it's good or not, but that's just my subjective opinion. We're open for the challenge. Come and try it and tell me what we have to improve, what we have to make it better.
Yeah, and I don't want to just glaze over the fact the Fast and Furious license is huge. That is a big thing for you guys to have. I know GreenLight had it before. I don't know if it was like Toys R Us exclusive. I feel like there was something weird with it when they had it before. You have it again. RC cars are insane. And the RC tanks.
When we present to Universal Studio, it's like in the second movie, remember? Too Fast, Too Furious? And then you have Brian driving the Lancer Evolution, Tyree driving the Eclipse, and then that was racing with American Muscle, right? That was a Challenger and a Camaro Yanko, right? So imagine if we can turn that into a game, right? Imagine having the exact same car, the scene, and then we could do the same thing. So that's kind of what we want to do. And what about in the fifth movie, Charger stealing the safe? There are all these fun stuff, there's all these fun elements in the movie that was going to, I think people would love to have this stuff, in real life. And in a model car. And then they can put their own imagination. Who knows?
Yeah, it's exciting, and I'm very excited for it. I'm excited for Vegas. That is going to be a good time, and I'll be there bright. I think me and Hitman, we get in at like 8:00 on Wednesday.
Okay.
So we'll probably be helping you set up the booth, because we can't check into the hotel. Someone said thank you for fixing the tire issue. And
please respond to that. We will GreenLight. Of course, it takes some time to change it, but we will no longer use the share tires stuff that has been happening over the past. Because I think over the past the concept was incorrect. The direction has been incorrect. They always think they want to share the same tires, and they purposely and the rim has to build smaller, build off scale just to fit the tires. And when I first came on board, I was like, no, man, that's not right, man. This is not what collector wants. The tires meant so much to a collector. The wheels, the tires meant so much. This is like our pair of shoes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why will we go buy our Nike shoes? Why will we go buy our Adidas shoes? Spending $200-$300 for what? It's because that's the gear, man. That's the gear for the car, right? You can't cut down on these stuff, man, right? Well, it's just going to have bad consequence, and thank you for spotting that out. No longer. We'll for all the new stuff, and slowly for the old stuff, we're changing it. We have we have a special technique of building a mold that can cater tire size for different cars.
Yeah, and this has been fun, and we will be live in Vegas, I'm sure, me and you, or we'll at least sit down and get a recording. We'll figure it out when we're there, and then I'm sure we'll
Okay.
be live again. I want to thank you so much
Yeah.
for always
Yeah.
coming
Well, thank
through
you
for
very much.
Raging Diecast.
Yeah.
It's I
Thank you
always
very
have
much.
so much fun. And then
Thank
when
you
I
very much.
end this, I'll need you to hang out just so it can finish uploading. So we'll just have to hang out after I end this. But I want to thank
Yeah.
everyone in chat. Thanks for hanging out with us, seeing the vision.
Yeah. Well, thank
I'm
you,
very,
everyone.
very
Yeah.
excited.
Looking forward to see you guys.
Yeah,
Yep.
come out to Vegas, stop by the GreenLight booth, say hi to Vincent and the team. Big announcements. You heard Vincent. There's going to be some big announcements happening. It's going to be insane. It's going to be a good time. I'll be there. Vincent will be there. You should be there too. And that'll do it for now. I love you guys. I'm going to end the stream. Vincent, hang out with me for a second, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.